The face-off between Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Triple D Dubois. And as you heard, the chants of Usyk, Usyk was chanting, and Daniel was trying to overshadow it with his own chant, and the no, and the no. Let me counterpunch. Who looked more intimidating in that face-off? It has to be Oleksandr Usyk, that stoic 1,000-yard stare that he gave him. He did not move. He did not budge. I don't even know if he really blinked a lot. But, you know, Daniel had the POV and his face was there on where the camera was positioned. But, bro, Usyk was just... looking up at Daniel Dubois. Daniel was kind of, looking and, he looked energized, but, a lot of people could illustrate that as nervous energy. So, we don't really know how he mentally looked, but he was the one that broke first. So normally the person that breaks first and goes, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and, let me end the charades. Let me break this concentration with eye contact. Let me break it. Normally that's the one that lost, you know what I mean? Or, just gets tired of it or whatnot. But normally if you're sitting there and you stay and you're in attention like Oleksandr Usyk was, yeah, you were the more intimidating and you were the guy that actually won that face-off. But what does it really mean, though? What does it mean? Well, it means everything now because the fight hasn't happened yet. You know what I mean? It just shows you where they mentally are. And I think shout out to Usyk17, Oleksandr Usyk's channel for the content. But I do think that Oleksandr Usyk looked like he did not, and he was not playing no reindeer games. None at all when it came to... looking and staring and facing off with Daniel Dubois. Like, hey, this is fight week. No BS. Sure, he did a little bit yesterday, but no. And when he was face-to-face with Daniel, there was no goofing. There was no playing. There was none of that. None of that was apparent in that face-off between Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois. Champion versus champion. Who wants it? You guys tell me what you think about this face-off. Who do you think looked more intimidating? Who do you think looked more focused? Who do you think looked scared or whatever? Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.